Hey there, Rednecks, Preppies, Redneck Preppies. It's me, the Redneck Preppy. How you doing today? Great? Good. Well, I hope you're doing great today, because if not, it's about to get worse when I remind you how much money, well, we've all wasted on gear. Today I'm going to talk about something that every outdoorsman, prepper, or weekend warrior has gone through at some point, spending way too much or way too little on gear. Now, I've been out in the bush, I've been out to the range, I've camped in all conditions, and I've done my fair share of both tactical and practical mistakes. So let's get into the biggest lesson that I've learned the hard way. At the risk of obviousness, gear is expensive. You walk into your local outfitters or Cabela's or start scrolling online, and suddenly a budget backpack costs more than your first car. And on the flip side, you got the bargain bin, mystery brand tents with unpronounceable names, $2 knives, and flashlights that burn out faster than a paper match. And here's the deal, I've been burned both ways. I've spent a small fortune thinking that I was investing in buy once, cry once quality, only to realize that I overpaid for gimmicks. And I've also gone full cheap-ass mode and paid for it with cold or wet feet, busted gear, and wasted time. So let's break it down with some examples. Let's start with the overpriced junk. Now, I remember dropping a pile of cash on a so-called tactical rucksack from a big name brand. Looked cool, tons of molly, enough compartments to lose your soul in. But after relatively light use, straps started fraying, zippers stuck, and the waterproofing was more like water suggesting. I paid for a name, not performance. Same goes for a titanium spork I bought once. Turned out to be nothing more than a glorified spoon. But hey, it weighed an ounce or two less than the cheap one. And ounces equal pounds, and pounds equal pain, right? Well, sure, it was lightweight and virtually indestructible, but so is a $2 stainless steel one from the camping section at Walmart. The lesson: expensive doesn't always mean better. Sometimes you're just buying marketing hype or a capability that you really don't need. If I'm climbing Mount Everest, maybe a titanium spork makes sense. But if I'm camping in northern Canada, maybe not. So here's a tip. If you're going to spend big, make sure the items got field-proven value. Read reviews from real users, not outdoor influencers. Look for stuff that's used by military, search and rescue teams, or bushcrafters with dirt under their fingernails. Now on the flip side, let me tell you about a tent I bought once. It said 3 season, said waterproof, said it fit 2 people. What that really meant was it leaked like a screen door in a submarine. It could fit 2 people if they were both under 5 feet tall and didn't mind spooning. And it was a 3-season tent, if those seasons were spring, summer, and disappointment. On my first camping trip with it, a rainstorm came through around 2 a.m. I woke up soaked. I thought the tent would collapse under water weight. Everything on the floor was wet: my sleeping bag, pack, my pride, and the condensation inside. Lord almighty. Another mistake: cheap knives. Many years ago, I bought a $10 survival knife with a tactical sheath and a built-in fire starter. The first time I used it to baton wood, snap, right at the handle. That fire starter, more like a spark of hope, and then disappointment again. You can go budget friendly, but going dirt cheap on mission critical items like shelter, knives, and boots, not smart. We're not talking about your survival gear. Some compromises there have to be made to fit within a space or perhaps a self-imposed cost. But the stuff that you bring in a backpack and expect to use extensively, you got to spend there. So what's the answer then? Simple. Prioritize. Spend more on the stuff that keeps you alive and comfortable. Footwear. Don't cheap out on boots or shoes. Blisters and broken ankles suck. Shelter. A good tent or a bivvy can be a literal lifesaver. Clothing layers. Waterproof, windproof, and insulated gear is worth the money. Backpack. Not tactical Barbie stuff. Real load-bearing ergonomic gear. Now, where can you save money? Cooking gear. Aluminum pots, simple stoves, budget ones last forever. Now, the only potential downside is they aren't as light as the high-end stuff. Cutlery and utensils. Get it cheap, lose it guilt-free. Accessories. Things like dry bags and non-climbing carabiners, tarps. You don't need name brand items here. And here's the kicker. Sometimes DIY beats both cheap and expensive. You can make a homemade alcohol stove from a soda can. Your cost is zero. It works like a charm. And it's arguably better than this $60 ultra light option. So yeah, the biggest mistake I made wasn't just spending too much or too little. It was not knowing what I actually needed. I bought stuff before I knew how I'd use it, before I tested my limits, before I figured out my personal style of outdoor living. I let marketing and sometimes ego make my choices. What should I have done? Tested the basics, made do, watched what broke, watched what sucked, and what mattered. Then invested smart. So if you're just getting started, or even if you've been at this for years, take a minute. Think about what's truly worth your money. Don't chase trends. Don't buy cheap crap. Use your brain before you use your wallet. If you've made any hilarious or painful gear mistakes, drop them in the comments. I read every one, and hey, we all learn from each other. Stay warm, stay dry, and stay sharp. At any rate, I hope you found today's video to at least be vaguely entertaining and mildly informative. As always, I hope your outdoor adventures are all fun. Take care, and bye-bye.